The Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C., simply known as the Wall, is a place of loss and remembrance. Built over 35 years ago, the black stone wall in the shape of a chevron was envisioned by the artist as a place where people could go and think about the war without being told what to think about the war. The wall has over 58,000 names inscribed on it, the names of those who lost their lives in the war. It is indeed a place of loss and remembrance. Early on, some will remember that there was great controversy. Many people wanted this or that, but the simplicity of the wall has been a part of its lasting power. The willingness to allow each person to remember their own loss has brought millions to the wall every year to view it, to get in touch with their sense of grief, to honor the lives that were lost, and to embrace our common sense of loss. One of the unexpected things that has happened with the memorial has been the number of items left behind at the wall. Some have left flowers, others have left notes, some have left a picture of themselves for a parent they never knew, insignias and medals, dog tags, boots worn in Vietnam, a teddy bear wearing the names of all those in a particular unit. Originally, everything that was left behind was collected by the rangers of the National Park Service and placed in a large lost and found. They were classified as lost items, even though no one had any intention of ever going back to find them. So many things were left behind that they were soon reclassified. Now everything is chronicled and archived with the intention of someday being put on display. The items once considered lost, now more than 400,000 items, are considered found. They are part of the remembrance. They are permanently part of the wall. They are part of how our nation has found healing. Lost and found. I was reading this week about the season of Lent, these weeks between Ash Wednesday and Easter, this time of year when we follow Jesus to the cross. Writer Joyce Rupp imagines it as one big lost and found. It's a season, she says, for finding the treasures we have lost. Have the difficulties of day-to-day living worn you down so that you have lost joy in your life? Have the sorrows of the world, yet another tragic school shooting or a diagnosis of terminal illness, have these sorrows of the world taken our hope? Has a broken relationship left us untrusting? Rupp says that Lent is a season for finding what is lost. She encourages us not to just give up chocolate and sweets for Lent. Instead, follow a discipline that helps you find what you've lost. Perhaps you should do something that actually brings you joy or hope or rebuilds trust. Create a discipline that helps you rediscover the goodness of life. Take a class. Take a walk. Play an instrument. Visit a friend. Write a note of appreciation for someone significant in your life. Find someone to help you if necessary. Find someone to help you in your search for the part of you that is lost. So much of the Gospel of Luke is about finding lost things. There is a story of a shepherd who leaves behind the 99 sheep in order to go searching for that one sheep that is lost. There's a story of a woman who sweeps the house top to bottom in order to find the one coin that has been lost. There's a story of a father who patiently waits for the return of a lost son and then throws a party when the son finally comes home. In Luke chapter 19, we get the story of Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus doesn't immediately look lost. He has a job, a good job. He has money, lots of money. He has power because he works under the authority of the government. He probably has a nice house filled with all the comforts of home. But he seems to have lost what was important. So Jesus goes out and finds him and brings him back into the community. He heals the relationships with the children of Abraham. He embraces Zacchaeus by eating with him at his home. He restores him from his sinful ways and declares that salvation has come to his house, for the Son of Man has come to seek and save the lost. Apparently, Zacchaeus was at the lost and found, but we've all been there. Whether we've lost something important, or we've become lost on the road of life, or we've lost someone important. We've all known times when we looked around a little bit at the lost and found. Story is told of a boy who worked with his father to build a sailboat. Together they planned exactly what it would look like. They went to buy the materials, the wood, the glue, the cloth, the string. It was going to be a beautiful boat. The father provided the know-how and some advice, but he let his son build the boat for the most part. And when the boat was finished, it was beautiful. The boy was proud of his work. And of course, the father was proud of his son. And on the day they were to sail the boat, they drove to the lake. The boy tied a string to the boat so that he could pull it back in. He set it to sail on the water and watched in pride, but then a strong wind came up and the string broke. And the boat that was made so well simply sailed off. The boy was heartbroken as he watched it disappear across the large lake. The father tried to comfort his son, saying, "Oh, we can build another boat." But the boy was too sad, and he didn't want to think of another boat. He wanted the one that was lost. Several weeks later, he was passing a shop, and he saw in the window his boat. He rushed in and excitedly told the owner of the shop, "The boat in the window is mine. I made it." The owner smiled and said, "But now it's mine. I just bought it from someone who said they found it. If you want it, you'll have to buy it." The boy was sad. He told his father, who gave him some odd jobs and helped him save money to buy the boat back. When he was able to buy the boat, he declared, "Now you're mine twice. First I made you, and now I bought you." In a similar way, God has shown us how much God loves us. He made us for himself. But when we went our own way, he bought us back at great cost. When we were lost in sin, Jesus came into the world to seek and save the lost. Season of Lent is a time for finding those aspects of life that we have lost. Let me offer you a modern parable. Writer Barbara Taylor tells of a time that she and her husband went on an outdoor adventure for adults. 15 adults from all over the place came together to hike for 10 days on mountain trails. Only the trail guide was experienced. The group was in various states of conditioning. The quick lesson was that the group traveled only as fast as its slowest member, and her name was Pat. Pat was the oldest member of the group. She was in the poorest condition, and she was the most unpleasant member of the group. She liked to walk near the end of the group, which suited everyone because when she could, she would eavesdrop on conversations and interrupt to correct grammar, geography, history, or any other mistake that was being made. She insisted on a full hour for lunch, and she complained about everything. The fifth day, the whole group missed the trail. By the time they had reached camp, it was rainy, it was dark, and no one had seen Pat since lunch, which was hours ago. The person assigned as Pat's buddy left her behind when Pat began to throw rocks and say, "Leave me alone." So he did. As the group made camp, the trail guide headed out into the night with a thermos of hot soup and a first aid kit. As the hours passed, the group, now warm in their sleeping bags, began to wonder what it must be like to be on the mountain, lost and alone and in the dark. So when the trail guide finally arrived with Pat, or sometime after midnight, everyone was relieved. They got up, they hugged her, they fixed her hot chocolate and fed her oatmeal cookies. The next day, everything was different. Pat got along with everyone. They were suddenly all part of the same group. Maybe it was the experience of getting lost that changed Pat, or maybe it was the experience of being found, or maybe it was the warm welcome home. Barbara Taylor wrote that finding Pat was as good as being found. We begin Lent at the table of Christ. Like the wall, it's a place of loss and remembrance. It's a place where lost things are found. It's a place where lost people are found. This Lent, may you become a part of the lost and found. May you find something important. May you be found. May you rejoice when someone else is found. Remember, finding someone else for God is as good as being found ourselves. Thanks be to God. Amen. I invite you to respond.